It's a live studio. You can hear them talking already. Yes, that is what it's all about. That is what it entails on this morning on ITV. Well, it's about the federal government accusing the state government of stealing local government funds. Some call it siphoning, some call it using. Depends on the words you want to use, the word that is suitable to you. But the federal government have accused the state governors of stealing local government funds. Before this one came into the limelight, the presidency also accused, yes, still the state governors of the high rise, yes, so to speak, of poverty in Nigeria. And of course, the governors also in turn says, no, federal government, you're not correct in that terms. You are the ones in charge. You guys are the ones responsible. Accusation and counter-accusation. But today, we're zooming on the theft of the local government funds. With me here in the studio, I have a political analyst, political affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Honorable L.G.A. Welcome to TMI Sunday's edition. I appreciate your comment.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers.
Sitting very close to him is Dr. Samson Isiboy, politician, a political analyst. Doc, welcome to TMI.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Good morning, viewers.
And that doc, please, is PhD. So please don't get it twisted with medical doctor, okay? He's a doctor in his field, all right? So very close to me, he is a legal practitioner, political analyst, political affairs commentator, human rights activist, Barrister Emmanuel Obakolo. Barrister, welcome to TMI.
Good morning.
Appreciate
it's a
your
pleasure
coming.
being here. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right. Well, the state of the local government has been the front burner to the extent that President Muhammadu Buhari made a proclamation that it should be autonomous. So this cry has been on for quite a long time. They pushed the motion to State House of Assembly, and the result gotten from these states were just so alarming to so many Nigerians. Yes, the State Houses of Assembly voted against their own autonomy. Yeah, they did that. And that is to the dismay of, the federal government and to so many Nigerian citizens, to the extent that the accounts of the local government and the state government, but this administration also, were separated. And allocations from the top go straight to the local government account. Yes, the big question now is the allegations leveled against the state governors. If all they've said is true about allocation, do you think it holds water? I want to start off with you, Honorable L.G.A. What the federal government said about the state governors, does it hold water? Is there an element of truth in what they accused the state governors of?
Well, it was a shocker to me that it took Buhari 7 years to realize that there is corruption or the governors are stealing the local government's funds. Since the inception of democracy in 1999, it has been the order of the day. Stealing of the local government funds has been sustaining most of the governors. When the law was passed, or rather when the bill was passed by the National Assembly for them to make the local government autonomous, it was the governors that asked their various House of Assembly to vote against it for their own personal interest. I was once a secretary of a local government. I know how it works. What happened is that when the money comes directly from the federal, it is tied to the state. Then the state governor, on his own, at his own discretion, send money to the local government. And what is gotten from the state is barely enough to take care of the salaries, as alleged by Buhari. And at the end of the day, the local government has nothing left for any capital project other than to just pay for the recurrent expenditures, most especially their salaries. So what they need to do is to separate the allocation that is coming from national directly to the local government.
All right.
But the state will not allow that. This is why most of the states in Nigeria, they conduct the local government elections.
Just hold on now. I will come back to you. Okay. You've admitted the fact that the allegation according to you is correct.
Oh, absolutely.
I will come back to you. Barrister Emmanuel Obakolo, you heard him. Do you agree to the points he raised about stealing of local government funds by the state's governors as alleged by the federal government?
Even the blind in Nigeria will see that happening. But I want to say here and just now that the problem we have with regards to local government funds and state government funds from the federation account is a constitutional matter.
Constitutional matter?
Yes, that requires a legislative flavor. Now, if you look at section 7, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, it provides that the State House of Assembly shall make laws for the peace, order, and government. Please, I want us to underline that one. Not governance, and government for the state. Paragraph B says the State House of Assembly shall make laws that are not inclusive in exclusive legislative list. Paragraph B now say the State House of Assembly shall make laws that are in consonant with concurrent residual lists. By the time you see all of this, and the president has just woken up from the good side of his bed after 7 years to tell you and I, all of us, that the state governors are now embezzling, are now stealing, quote and unquote, are now doing whatever they want with local government funds. Who do you hold responsible? Wilson, it beats me hollow that the president has this time, or presidency as we have with this administration, because everything is presidency. The presidency at this time can come out and tell Nigerians the story they are telling Nigerians just now. And that's why you see the state governors are not challenging him. Wike spoke some days ago. The Delta state governor, the person of Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, spoke challenging him that he should name the governors.
We are coming to
and
that.
And the presidency has not been able to do that. You know why?
We are coming to that.
Constitutional matter.
Constitutional matter. We were coming to that. It was like, name these persons. Name names. Mention names. Well, Dr. Sampson, you've heard both of them. They agreed to what the federal government alleged. But Barrister Emmanuel Obakolo is, how will I put it now, accusing the federal government of being lax in so many issues that after 7 years, even Honorable Digebo attested to that, after 7 years, why now? Over to you.
Thank you. I agree with my two colleagues, but I will not blame Buhari or President Buhari for what he has just said. We have, in our constitution, we have 3 tiers of government: the federal, the state, and the local government. But when the leaders saw that one section of the tiers of government are being cheated, so they came out with what my colleague said just now, that there should be direct payment of allocations to each segments. But these governors who are very, very corrupt, they fail to honor that legislation passed. See what is happening in our state. Do you see any of the local government doing any job, working? No. Because they are incapacitated. Nothing comes to them direct. The state government, hijack the allocations, and they cannot talk. There is nobody to protest. Before this time, you see local government doing so many job workings like grading roads, establishing markets, payment, paying the obas, the L.G.A and so on and so forth. But it's not happening again. Even go to the various local governments, you see bushes has taken over the place. No money to even buy cutlass to clear the place. Not to talk of say they are awarding contract for grading roads, this and that. Why? Because money are not given to them direct. Our state governors, they hijack it and just give them paltry sum as they like. As my friend have just said, even the money they give them to pay salary is not even enough. So I think it is the governor that should be blamed, not the federal government.
The governor should be blamed?
Yes, they should be blamed outright.
All right. Some governors spoke out saying, look, Mr. President, or the presidency of the federal government, you've made an allegation, you've laid allegations, or 11 allegations against the governors. Name names, mention names.
Well,
and the federal government in this moment is mum about that. Take it up from that.
It is a tradition here. The presidency will not name any of the governors. Because the reason is that all the governors so far that have spoken, they have all denied. And you don't expect any of them to come on air, to the public domain to affirm what the presidency said. This is how most of the governors, this is how they embezzle or they steal the money. Once the money comes, mind you, the council chairmen, they are all under the Commissioner for Chieftaincy and Local Government Affairs. And it is required for any local government, before you can sign any contract that exceeds 10 million, you must get approval from the Commissioner for the Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. To do that, the Nigerian factor comes in. That is why that position is very lucrative. So you cannot get any approval until you settle. That's one.
Oh, but
Secondly,
you don't have proof of that, though. Yeah.
Secondly, now the governors, what they now did is to emasculate all the local governments. They don't conduct elections. Why don't they conduct elections? That's the best avenue for them to steal the local government money. During the election, if they ever conduct election, it becomes a norm for you to get 100%, because you don't want any opposition. So by so doing, they now dictate to the local government. In the absence of elected local government, they use the L.G.A or caretaker committee. If you are a member of the caretaker committee as a chairman, you are only entitled by law to award. You cannot award a contract that exceeds 5 million. So at the end of the day, where is the money? They are all sitting with the state. So it has become an avenue. They have figured a way out to entrench corruption, stealing or theft. According to journalists, there's no difference between stealing and theft anyway. So it is Nigerian factor. Until all these things are, all these apparatus are put in place, we will continue to have an ineffective local government system.
All right. Obonachi, you said it's a constitutional matter. Could you please elaborate?
It is. Flowing from what the Honorable just said, you would agree with me that indeed it is a constitutional matter. Some time ago in this country, we saw then President Olusegun Obasanjo seized the local government funds for Lagos State under the administration of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, on the ground that the man created additional local governments. He seized the fund. If the president has power to seize the fund for local government, does the president not also have power to liaise with the National Assembly to make laws to create autonomy for the local governments in the constitution? As it is just now, there is no difference between the state and the local government. The local government is under the direct control of the state. And these governors we have who understand the terrain, the political arithmetics of Nigeria, took advantage of it. And that's why they can embezzle anything they want to embezzle. You can see, just like the Honorable said, they conduct elections when they like. And even when they want to conduct elections, they ensure that elections metamorphose into selection. They select those who they know that can be under their whims and caprices, who they can control at will. And that is why we find ourselves here where we are today. Until the Constitution is corrected, until there is a resolution in the Constitution for the autonomy of the local government will keep becoming a slave to the state. And by so doing, the local government chairman, either by appointment or by election, will continue to remain slave to the governors. And the governors we have today, they are governors who are so egocentric. It's a case of the kettle calling the pot black. That is what we have seen today in Nigeria. The presidency, as we have known with this administration, and the state governors, they are birds of a feather. They are one and the same. The same way they treat Nigerians the way they like. They handle Nigerians the way they like. And they make sure that they weaponize poverty and reduce Nigerians to nothing. And today, penury is the case of Nigerians. That is why you see the data coming out to say that 130 million Nigerians are in abject poverty. In fact, a state of penury. Because the governors are happier. They go home with so much money. They have so much money in their pocket and their bank accounts, in their bags. In fact, they now keep money in their houses. They will build house, nobody is resident there. They will make it money house. And that is where they go to dump money. And you see, until all of these corrections are done with the Constitution, Wilson, I tell you this morning, I tell Nigerians this morning that we will keep suffering. Because now the governors even have powers over the State House of Assembly. Like we have today in Edo State. Do we have State of Assembly in Edo State? We do not have State of Assembly in Edo State.
We have, because and it's functional, please.
That is functional.
Anyway, that topic for let's continue.
With the governor in government house,
Barrister
and you don't look at the whole system.
Please, let's be guarded. We are on this topic. Let's not deviate.
Listen,
yes.
When you look at Nigeria,
yes,
Nigeria is a land of fairy tales.
Okay, I'll come back to you. But please watch your emotions. Take a breather. Breathing, calm down. Calm down. Well, Honorable Isibo, you've heard them. You have the opinion that everything is in the hands of the state governors. You're not going to blame the presidency. And from what Barrister Emmanuel Wolo said, he said there are birds of a feather, a case of kettle calling the pot black, that they are doing almost the same thing. But the federal government waited till this moment to alert Nigerians. Are all these not politically motivated?
Yeah, thank you very much. I laughed inside me when my colleagues were saying that they will pass the constitution. Who are those people that will pass the constitution? That will give autonomy to the local government? Take, for example, our own State House of Assembly, their own freedom, which they were asked to pass. What happened to them? They said, no, we don't want freedom. Leave us as we are. Let us be under the canopy of a man that is, tormenting them. They said, who will not want freedom?
They voted against it. Like they don't want. Anyway, let's continue.
They don't want it. It's a fact. It's in the. They said they don't want freedom. That sir, we are confident. We are so assured, and in a good state with our governor to be ruling us, whereas Constitution says you must be autonomous to yourself. They said no. So are they the one that will pass that of a local government autonomy? For example, there are so many frauds here and there. Take for example, the state governors I use my own governor here as a reference point. Collecting 800 million.
Well, what's it that you are not sure? Hold on. You are not sure of the specific amount.
It's documented.
Hold on. Are you with the proof now?
Yes. So
where is the proof?
You want me to go and bring the?
Of course you should if you're coming on air next time. Now, since it's not here, please.
Yes, I will bring it.
Okay, next time. So for now,
he's collecting
for now,
security.
Of course,
800
but we don't know the amount. We don't know the amount.
I said it outside now.
We don't know the amount. You don't know the amount.
I know 800 million.
You don't know the security votes. Yes, but the amount you're not sure of. So you don't know. Let's continue, please.
Yeah, but let me make his point.
So continue. Don't make your point.
You should come and deny it. 800 million. Well, what has he done with it? You cannot account for it, and you are now asking
MOU.
MOU. Why? Again, in fact, we are so downcasted in this state. Our state governor, we don't know what he has been doing with all this money.
Anyway, his representative will be invited to hold on. Honorable Samson, hold on. I wouldn't want to interject. Hold on. Okay, doctor, please. I wouldn't want to interject or intercept. We are focusing on local government funds.
Okay.
And if we do not have proof of the said amount, I wouldn't want us to go by estimation, or I will put it now, allegations. Okay, yes, security votes have been given, but we are not sure of the amount, so let's leave it at that. Let's focus on the topic on the ground.
It is only you that is not sure.
Please.
We see you are on trial here. You are on trial.
Hold on.
You are the spokesman.
So please,
we see you are on trial.
Please, let's be guarded. So please continue.
Yes.
Are you speaking for
the local
government?
government? Yes.
I'm challenging Obaseki to come out and deny what I've said. 800 million security.
Thank you.
votes
Okay.
without being accounted for.
Okay.
And
Until
again, what we know about this our man is that we only hear for Edo Gis, Edo Best, Alagodago, MOU.
Thank you.
We don't know what the money is all about.
Thank you.
You know, yesterday on this security.
I will come back to you.
I
will come back to you. I will come back to you.
Yes,
Dr. Siba, I'll come back to you. Well, the government representative, without reaching out to them, they were not able to come due to one thing or the other until they come here to clarify some of these allegations. We just have to leave it at that. They're not here. That's one of the reasons why Black are not to defend themselves. It's not good for us to shave a man's head in his absence.
Why did they not come?
Hope you understand. Now, let me come to you back to the L.G.A fund. The presidency is still insisting that this is what is going on. But some state governments say mention names. If it's not politically motivated, how come they're not mentioning names?
They will not mention names because if you take us back to last year, when it was reported that 800 Boko Haram sponsors are in Nigeria, the Attorney General, Malami, promised that they will publish the names. Today it was a promise that never was.
Yes.
So it is nothing new. So you don't expect the the president. The president has said the person is a lawyer, is educated. So among the 36 governors, how many lawyers do we have? You understand? So just narrow it, and he has said what he needed to say. So the onus is now on us. I think whoever that governor is, or the governors are, they are jittery. But at the end of the day, nothing will come out of it. It's just a political statement. Because if not because of the research and the paper that was presented at NAPIC's 44, class of 94, by the students, or the graduating students, the president has no idea, or pretended as usual. He was not informed, or he doesn't know what is going on. So at the end of the day, probably he's going to wait for them again to now come and tell him this is the name before he comes out. So, mind you, we have EFCC. Are you telling me since 1999, EFCC, they don't know the governors that are stealing the local government funds? We have ICPC. Where are they? It's their responsibility. By now, EFCC should have a dossier on all the governors. And they should know, or they will know, who are stealing. And I will guarantee you, if not all, they are stealing the local government money. And even the presidency that is even accusing or alleging, are they not also stealing? Who's not stealing in Nigeria? So you are pointing to other person to take the shine out of you, whereas you are doing same. Is it, when you talk of corruption in Nigeria, is it just only the local government area? No, it's everybody. Everybody, from the presidency to the messenger, we are all corrupt. So the possibility that the presidency will mention the name is a burden because of lawsuit.
Okay.
Because he has to prove.
He has to prove. Over now to you. Why now?
The allegation of the presidency is like a fairy tale told to an idiot in Alice in Wonderland. The presidency knows that their time is gradually winding up. So, to distract Nigerians, they have come up with another allegation to give us the deceptive act that they are working. But every one of us knows. That's why I said that it is a case of the kettle calling the pot black. The presidency, upon emergence in 2015, May 29, 2015, told us that I am not for nobody, I am from everybody. Have we seen that today in Nigeria? This same presidency told us that he, mind you, I am not using the word president, I am using the word presidency. Told us that I am going to stir corruption, eyeball to eyeball. Is that the case today in Nigeria? All the governors who have come up, who swore to the Nigerian constitution, today jettisoning the constitution, they made the Nigerian constitution a trash in the dustbin. And that's why today I still stand my ground. This matter is a constitutional matter, and that is the only way that this matter could be resolved. But I know they will fight it to a standstill because they are beneficiaries of the lacuna created in the constitution. It worries our mind to see us in the present situation today, that men can wake up and steal local government fund and embezzle local government fund at will. They will embezzle the state, they will embezzle that of security vote, and yet they say they are superstars, nobody is superhumans, nobody should ask them any question. Then when you want to talk, the press is there to defend them. The press will not be raising defenses for defenseless matters.
You cannot say the press is there to defend them. We have to work with facts.
Nigerians are really going through hell in the hands of these dealers called leaders.
I'll come back to you.
It's a pity.
I'll come back to you. Over now to Dr. Samson Isibo, PhD. Well, you've spoken your own aspect. I know you have so much grievances because of the current state of situation in various states of the Federation. You have the right to be grieved or to be aggrieved, yes, about the situation. But I want to crave you, please watch your emotions. We have reasons for that. We have rules governing the airwaves. You made so many points about the stealing of local government funds. And there, from what Honorable L.G.A said, he said it starts from top to the bottom, that they are all corrupt. The one that is accusing, the one that is being accused, that they do the same thing. Like what I asked Barrister Emmanuel Obapolo, is this not about general election that is forthcoming in the month of February 2023? Over to you.
I don't think so. It's not because of the general election. It is a fundamental issue. For example, why do we have the state assemblies, which are to oversee check and balances? But are they doing that? Especially our own state. Do we know? Do we have even any assemblymen? For example, when they pass a law of anti-grazing law, the assembly were not even invited. Where they said the governor said he signed the law, they are the bill into law. Why can't they act on it? Not to talk of say they will be able to curtail the excesses of the government. Every Dick and Harry knows that the money being allocated to the local government goes directly to the governor, and he distributed it at his own ways and caprices. So there's nothing they will. So accusing the president of acting now, he cannot oversee the whole state. That is why we have the State House of Assemblies to checkmate the governors. Others are doing it, but here we can't. This our governor, in fact, is already, I can say, ready to be impeached of so many offences he has committed.
Well, you are not in the status of assembly.
That's why I said that we don't have assembly now.
No, we have assembly. You are not a member, so you don't know if your comment is right.
So 24 assembly members.
There is a state house of assembly functioning.
There. Whatever they do is just out of point. They don't have any.
You can't say it's out of point, and that is disrespectful to the house.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So the governor need to be blamed, not the president. Everything cannot be shifted on the president. We know that presidency is so corrupt right from day one till now. But we can't, because of that, allow our governors to be, embezzling our money, defiling the constitution at their own ways and caprices. So it is the governors that are stealing. They are the thieves that we need to focus upon, not Buhari. Buhari has his own something too. That is where we have the corrupt-based institution.
All right. Thank you. Well, you cannot say he has corrupt-based institution, please. You can say there are screens of corruption reports here and there, but you can't say it is the land-based.
For example.
So please, let's be guarded.
Wait a minute.
The allegations, yes, but we say it is there. That's where you are assuming.
It is not even only the executive or the legislator. What about the judiciary? Of recent, we are talking of corruption now. Of recent, the judiciary, set free a former SSG, Babashia, whatever, whom the whole world knows that he embezzled money for cutting grasses, 200 million. He was set free. Can you beat that? So
Mr. Manabakmalo, that's your field. That's your field.
That does not understand the intricacies in that. It is a case of a no-case submission.
Now it's not in 3 cases.
Yes.
When you got to your own field. Now you see what I'm talking about, Nigeria.
The executive. Okay. They didn't present the facts with the court.
What he just said
Right.
is that the House of Assembly, not just only in Edo State, is across the 36 states. A situation whereby the governor is in charge. The governor is the executive. The governor is the head of the legislative arm. And in short, even the governor is also the head of the judiciary. He dictates, he determines whether they will eat or drink or whatever. So the only way they can resolve this thing is that, say, for example, in Edo State now, 2023 election, if they can have equitable distribution of party members, say like you have in Edo State, let's say 15 labor members in the House of Assembly, maybe 1 in PDP, then maybe 2 or 4 in APC, that would be better. Then you have a governor probably that is labor or
PDP.
PDP, I doubt it. Then, assuming you have that, then the governor cannot control the house.
All right.
Where it is 100% one political party,
All right,
it will not work.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. We can go on and on. I have
So thank God the people are now changing.
I know. You now said 45 minutes.
Let me
1 minute. 1 minute.
Also, it is a pity that we have a situation in Nigeria where EFCC prosecuted some governors. We saw, and they were sentenced. But they were granted presidential pardon recently and recruited into a political party.
Yeah.
The president granted the likes of Darie presidential pardon. These were people who embezzled local government
According
funds.
to the constitution, does he have the right to grant presidential pardon or not?
He does.
Yes.
So the president is not a
Thank you.
superhuman.
Thank you. He has the right to
Yeah.
it
This is
because
because
that
the problem.
thing is
Yeah, but
all
the-
right.
yeah, but the-
Over now to you now, Samson Isibo, PhD. 1 minute.
I will only advise the governors to toe the line of the constitution.
Yes.
Let the local government have their own autonomy. Let them collect their money direct from the federal location instead of lumping them together in the course of saying that it is for the same, what do you call it, the same
Pool. Yeah, common
Okay.
pool.
which is illegal.
Okay. Thank you.
Collect yours, I
Collect mine.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Honorable, 1 minute.
Yeah, but there is no law guarding that. As of right now, the money still comes directly directly to the state. So until there is a law, the amendment to the constitution. So what the Nigerian public needs to do right now is to put pressure on various state House of Assembly to amend the constitution.
All right. All right. Thank
Failure
you.
to do that, we will maintain the status quo.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I really appreciate a wonderful analysis. Some allegations, according to allegations, were raised against the government of the day. Not to worry. In due course, they'll come to shed more light on that. The opinions, yes, it has nothing to do with ITV. Despite the emotions, they were able to at least obey rules and regulations governing the airwaves. Yes, we have a one-time local government deputy chairman on the ground. He was also a one-time acting chairman of a local government. We also have a human rights activist, political analyst. They will come share their thoughts and opinion on this particular topic. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Appreciate your comment.